Welcome back. I hope you guys had a great holiday. You know, the last 2 weeks of December 2025 have shown a lot in the game. And if you're looking to move, travel, or invest in 2026, the rules of the game have changed drastically. Amidst all of this, Canada is banning its business investor visa. America gets a ban from an African nation. And the EU gives the Caribbean CARICOM almost an ultimatum that could kill citizenship by investment programs there forever. And amongst all of this, another island decides it's going to start providing its own golden visa program. All right, we've read the reports. Let's get into news. First up, the UAE has a major visa overhaul. So we start in the Middle East. Around mid-December, the UAE has announced one of its biggest visa reforms yet. They're just looking for investors anymore. They want talent. So the government has introduced new visa categories specifically for AI specialties, entertainment professionals, and maritime tourists, for those yacht and cruise enthusiasts. So the clear takeaway here is that if you're a data scientist or a creative professional, Dubai is trying to make it easier for you to make it your next home instead of thinking of other places like Silicon Valley, because it's trying its best to be the next tech hub of the world. On to the next story, where the US, where the doors are getting harder to open. The US CIS has now dropped a new guidance for professional athletes looking for green cards. Due to changes in the Department of Labor's system, athletes now face stricter documentation requirements regarding their job offers. If you're a pro athlete eyeing an EB2 or an EB3 visa, your lawyers have now some more, let's say, paperwork to sort out. The big shocker from all of this is Canada, just here in December 19th, has effectively suspended its famous startup SUV program, with authorities announcing a freeze on new commitment certificates starting January 1st, 2026. Happy New Year's, guys. And the government admits the program needs to reset and hinted at a replacement, quote-unquote, entrepreneur pilot coming later in 2026. If you didn't get your application in before the new year, the door is now closed. Next up, over in Europe, we have a mix of good and bad news. In this case, Portugal is doubling down on the Global Talent Program using the D3 visa. They're creating a streamlined path for non-EU professionals, specifically targeting talent from the UK and the US, to work specifically in Portugal without the heavy investment requirements of the old Golden Visa program. That's the good news. Bad news: a massive scandal has erupted involving Romania. Investigative reports reveal that thousands of Russian citizens allegedly used fake documents to claim ancestral ties to Romania. By obtaining Romanian citizenship, they granted full access to the EU, bypassing a lot of sanctions. So expect the EU to start cracking down hard on citizenship by descent routes in 2026, all because of this simple incident. Now, let's talk about the visa wars in the Caribbean. This is where things get complicated. The US pressure Antigua and Barbuda, which had managed to secure partial relief from the US visa restrictions. The US agreed to honor existing visas, but in exchange, Antigua is considering raising its residency requirements to 90 days to prove genuine links, here's that, to the country. Remember that. And then, just days later, the European Commission dropped a bombshell stating that they're operating a citizenship by investment program in itself, which is grounds for losing visa-free access to Europe. They're no longer just asking for better vetting, they're signaling that these programs need to end if these islands want to keep Schengen access. And the twist? Well, you'd think this would stop at a new program, right? Wrong. Well, St. Vincent and the Grenadines are the only Eastern Caribbean nation that never sold passports. But the new Prime Minister, Dr. Goodwin Friday, what's up, Mr. Friday? Just announced that St. Vincent will launch a golden visa program to pay off the national debt. He's diving the economy into industry at the exact moment the EU says it's trying to kill it. And finally, the last bit of news, the news ends on a diplomatic fallout where the US has now, placed its sanctions on a lot of people. And because of this, a lot of nations are trying to reply back and retaliate with a bit of reciprocity. So now the West African country of Niger has decided it too will now ban all American visas effective immediately. This includes businesses, travelers, and everything in between. And there you have it. That, my friends, is the update for December 2025, where we have the loss of the Canadian startup visa program. Countries are now starting to ban American passports, and new Caribbean programs are starting to pop out of this out of the blue. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Hey, if you think I left something out, go ahead, leave a comment, and I'd love to try and catch up with you again. But until then, wealth and health, my friend. I'll see you the next one.
This video is sponsored by Bond & Partners. Looking for a second passport? At Bond & Partners, we fast-track citizenship in just 2 to 6 months. We also help you secure residency and establish companies in the world's most strategic jurisdictions. Bond & Partners, where sovereignty begins.